Hello, my fellow researchers, students and faculty members. My name is Matthew Coombes and I have been looking into the means to better the way in which emotion is determined from the speech signal during the last 4 years. Looking back on my progress from last year, it was ascertained from the previous peer-reviewed papers that there was a recognised matrix of suprasegmental features which determine positive and negative emotional effects when heard by the auditor. As you will see, these included vowel backness, syllabic stress, and specific phonemes. However, the means by which these were tested were rendered null when Pawlowski evidenced that words cannot be divorced from their meaning. So when Crystal based his findings on words such as beautiful, the meaning would inherently override any result. My study was based on a number of questionnaires that contained audio stimuli. This stimuli was separated into 3 categories: neutral, pseudo, and constructed. The neutral being comprehensible English using words that have no emotive value. The pseudo then removed any coherence to the structure, and finally, the constructed set used words which used English phonemic structure but had no semantic meaning whatsoever. The sentences recorded were then created with a bias towards each of the previous hypotheses from the authors. For example, a neutral sentence using short syllables would read, "One edge was long and near to the desk," whilst a constructed sentence using what is thought to be aesthetic phoneme would read, "Ilamer, mana, elomei, alenet, hieron malin." Following collection and analysis of the data, it couldn't escape notice that the constructed stimuli produced far more positive responses and far fewer negative, the hypothesis of which being that the participant was able to listen more intently to the sound of the vocal artist's voice as a result of not having to divert attention away to make sense of the stimuli. Reducing the data to the respective levels of the aforementioned suprasegmental features, whilst all 3 of the stimuli confirmed the respective hypotheses, it was noticed that the constructed stimuli showed a significant difference between the 2 compared to both the neutral and the pseudo stimuli, as shown here in the aesthetic and non-aesthetic phoneme tests. However, for the syllabic stress stimuli, the inverse was noted, in that the greater difference was noticed in the neutral stimuli compared to the constructed stimuli. However, the hypothesis still remained correct given the data shown. It is therefore hypothesized that the syllabic stress, being more positive, is a phenomenon related to the semantics of the language, moreover the suprasegmental features. The data was also reduced to analyze the findings from a demographic perspective. These included variables such as age, gender, and level of education. Further result of interest ensued as a result of the analysis. For example, shown in the graphs to the right, we noticed that participants with a higher level of education found more appreciation for the suprasegmental features in the voices of the voiceover artists. In addition, as shown in the graph on the left, the educational level appears to be directly proportionate to perceive a greater level of positive effect. All of these results will now need to be observed for correlation between both demographic and semantic features in order to test further with a means to arriving at an algorithm that will determine an ideal aesthetic voice at an individual or seemingly subjective basis.